Hello everyone, and welcome to the wonder of Star Wars The Old Republic episode number 24, and welcome back to Balmorra. If you're joining us here for the first time, you can choose to start at episode 0. If you'd rather do that, go and check out the description of this video for a link to the playlist series. There is so much going on right now, because we accidentally aggro random people, and then that's just what happens in Star Wars The Old Republic. This is, at the time of filming this, the day before server merges are about to happen, and I've seen like 10 different events going up about finishing off the servers with a bang. And I'm really excited about the server merges. I need to turn my console back on. I've been waiting for them for a really long time, especially because I've mentioned before I came from a very quiet server. Oh, I totally promised you guys I would save you the walk, but I lied. And there's no real Star Wars The Old Republic news. We got a little bit of an update about Darth Hexed, the companion you can earn in the next couple of months. These bad guys? Yes, they are. Not much more that we didn't already know, just a couple of clarifications, like you can earn her on a free-to-play account, and her reward is account-wide. You just have to earn her once and she goes to all your characters. And if you need more info about that, there's a video up on my channel. And if you happen to miss it, there's also a video about how we're going to celebrate 20,000 subscribers. I'm assuming you guys probably saw that. Just want to make sure because I'm also excited for that. And I even have the date written down right in the middle of my computer so I don't forget it. I don't even know what to talk about. Just server merges are tomorrow. That's it. And I've noticed a lot of people are saying in my YouTube comments, not anywhere else, I haven't seen this, but people saying they're interested in coming back. So I'm curious to see what the population is like. Oh, I'm frozen! Between that and between just obviously the servers merging. We haven't heard any real new news about the server merges. There's that little bit of news about all the West Coast servers moving over to the East Coast, but that's about it. No new major changes. Basically, we'll see if Javiik gets to keep his name or not. Oh, someone asked in the comments, Javiik should get some new gear. I actually picked a little bit up along the way. I got this one. That is actually quite good for me. But you know what? I really dig the hood on Javiik. He has a bad hair day every day, if you can see. So until I actually have to switch, I'm going to keep this one for a little bit. Or until I get another cool one with a good hood. Let's get out of here! So I've seen a good solid question come up a lot lately, especially with the mentions of server merges, and that question is Star Wars The Old Republic dead? And there's no really solid yes or no answer to this, because this question doesn't have a lot of meaning. What does dead mean? Could mean something very different to one person as opposed to another. So when I get asked this, I usually try and make up a couple different other questions that might answer it. Is the population lower than when it started? Definitely yes. Is the population so low you can't play with other people? Absolutely not, unless you accidentally pick a dead server. I have no idea where I'm going! Let's go turn these in. Oh, we even have a speeder. Are there still updates to the game? Absolutely yes, and we're getting a big one coming up fairly soon. Do the developers still pay attention to the game? Yes, we get pretty frequent communication from them, and they're upgrading the servers and everything. So it's like, yes, there's less people than when it started. Yes, it's not being advertised as hugely as like a FIFA game, I guess you could say. But there's definitely still lots of people to play with, and there's new content coming out. So whether it's a dead game or not, I honestly don't have a solid yes or no answer to that. I assume if you guys are watching this, you're gonna say no, it's not a dead game. But from someone from the outside who hasn't played in a while, or just wants to start the game and wants to find out is it worth investing their time into, it's a rough thing to answer. Like, does this game get as much attention as, say, World of Warcraft? Definitely not. If you're looking for like the most active active in development game probably would be WoW, I would guess, or any brand new game coming out, but who knows how long that lasts. Oh, I gotta get up there. Fly, Javiik, fly! Let's just hop on our speeder. I'm sorry I have to stop and actually look at my abilities. I wish I could show you guys my microphone. It's a Blue Yeti microphone and I like it quite a bit, obviously. It works out well for my voice. It's very sensitive and it can hear me talking not too loud. But it is giant. It is like the size of a... Think of a glass cup, like a drinking cup. It's bigger than that. And it's right in the middle of my desk and I can't even see most of my abilities. So I have to like crane my head over and look for my mount key. So is the game dead? I would say no, because it's still getting regular updates and there's still more than enough people to play the content with, especially after server merges. You don't even really have to worry about accidentally winding up on that dead server like I mentioned before. Is it the most content heavy, most updated game in the world? No, it's sometimes definitely shows that it's struggling. Definitely doesn't have as much updates as I would love as when it first came out. But is it still great? I'd say yes, or I wouldn't bother making this channel.
You have your ship, Commander.
And you, my eternal gratitude, my lord. You are everything the Empire promises its people.
Well, thank you.
The shuttle will go to our techs, be pulled apart, and its secrets made ours. Once again, order triumphs over chaos, and the Empire provides for those who hold true.
And just a reminder, this is the bonus series. They specifically... Hey, level 33! They specifically hid these types of missions from new players in case they weren't interested in doing them. So I'm doing them specifically because I want to do every quest in the game, not necessarily because that's the recommended path, if that makes sense. Yeah, here we go.
The rebels' facilities have been destroyed.
I heard the fireworks from here, my lord. Nothing like the smell of rebels roasting on their own blasted suitcase bombs.
Hang on, let's see. Is this the most beautiful spot for a screenshot in the world? Very possibly. Ta-da! Something in the game that I would love to add, but it would never be added because it'd be kind of silly. Would be like a screenshot booth where you can like angle your character and there's always perfect sunlight and you can like add different backgrounds and poses and stuff. Oh, I mentioned last episode my guild was having kind of some issues. It's progressed over the week and it makes me sad. Long story short, we have multiple leaders in our guild. We have officers who take care of like say operations or PvP, and then we have leaders of each game. So there's someone in charge of Star Wars The Old Republic and Guild Wars 2 and ESO and stuff like that. And then on top of that we have, I guess what you could call community leadership, and they're in charge of everybody and they're in charge of the website and our forums and making sure people treat each other nicely, and they deal with it when people don't, which happens sometimes, not as often as you'd think with that many people in the guild. Just run, Javiik! Ignore them! Oh, I probably could have just taken the speeder, darn it. And so it turned out that someone shared some comments that were made outside the game, outside of like our forums or anything like that. They were not very nice to other members. So those people got really upset that they were being called out for being rude. And then it turns out that they decided to convince a couple of other people to just take our entire Elder Scrolls guild and just like take it away from everybody else. They took the guild and kicked everybody out. So that was very disappointing, but at the time I kind of understood. They felt they were being treated very unfairly, so on and so forth. It's nothing that... In the end, the guild itself is just like items and stuff like that. It's more the people that were missing because others left because, well, they're sad that their friends left and stuff like that. They didn't want to just be left with a bunch of people they didn't know as much. Oh, look at this little pile of people here. But then we found out the two people who were causing the most trouble had actually used their powers very much for evil, and they had at least what it looks like, that they use their administrative forum powers to go look into people's private accounts and stuff like that. And it's like, oh guys, why did you do that? That was definitely not nice. So they got kicked out of the guild, and so half of one of our game's players are missing. They've left, or they were kicked out, or would have been kicked out, one way or the other. And our poor community leadership team is down to half. The good news is our Star Wars The Old Republic guild. Each guild is a little bit more self-contained. Anybody can join anyone, like you're free to switch between them. But most people play only one, because not all of us have that much free time. Like for me, I literally could not play another game. I don't even play as much Star Wars as I want to. So yeah, I'm just kind of bummed out that that happened, but I was actually talking to my Star Wars guild leader, and I was just saying I'm really thankful that you're here and that most of our officers are really nice. I'm glad the guild's going great. We haven't had too many issues, specifically within our group of players, I guess you could say. This issue like affects everybody in our entire guild, but it affects us, I guess, less strongly than say those who play the game where half the players quit. So I guess now people are looking into like, what could we have done better? How could we have prevented this to start with? So on and so forth. Because they had the permission to look into those accounts, because every once in a while you need it. Like if someone's account is broken, you can access it and log in as them and stuff like that. So it's not like they were using powers that were hacked into or anything. They just used the powers for evil rather than good. That's sad. I think my guild will recover though. It's only a small portion. It's not like back in the day when we started off as a Star Wars Galaxies guild, actually, just a single game, and since then people wanted to play more stuff, other games were introduced, and now there's like 400 people in the guild. It's big. But the divisions, the different games themselves are groups of players that are a lot smaller than that. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have had a lot of people... Ooh, where am I going? Ah, are you kidding me? Did I actually just go up a dead-end path? Maybe I can jump across the mountains or something. What's up there? Oh, did I make it? Yes, yes, yes. It's good, it's good, it's good, it's bad. Okay, here we go. I think we got that quest up there before, I'm pretty sure. Looks like a repeatable quest. And heroic quests, we know for sure, are dailies, not weeklies. So of course I would see them again. Balmorra is really pretty. A lot of things, our guild's a bit more dramatic, I guess, when things are usually pretty good. Because we do focus on community, we don't usually let in people who are being jerks to start with. But when things do go bad, they go really bad, especially because they're usually by people you're hoping to trust and people who were let in as being decent people to start with. It's sad. It happens though. I feel bad for those who had their private info accessed. That really sucks. Luckily, all those people are very mature and I think understand that they're not gonna like lose sleep over it.
Thank you.
Whoa, hey, did I just free that guy? I didn't even see he was there. Sorry for hitting you with lightning. My bad. A lot of bad experience I've heard people when they say they join guilds, they're like, I'm never joining a guild ever again. It's very interestingly enough, usually more
Came in
due
just
to...
in time. They said they were getting ready to execute me.
Due to drama. Campbell, I'm trying to share some gossip. Would you please shush? Thank you. They say they're often being treated unfairly is one I think I've heard a lot. Like, oh, I was the guild leader picked their girlfriend to be on the raiding team instead of me and stuff like that. And oh, pretty, 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 pretty. I like Balmorra. It's really nice. We're trying to find some more soldiers to free while we're looking at the scenery here. Yeah, a lot, like the most common thing I've heard is that people feel they're being treated unfairly one way or the other, or there's favoritism, stuff like that. And that's one you you can sometimes fix. It depends if the people leading want to fix it. For example, the guy with the girlfriend is probably not going to dump his girlfriend to to put someone else in her spot. Though if they're older and they're more mature, they'd be like, hey babe, I'm really sorry. I realized I picked you because you're my girlfriend, maybe not because you earned the spot. Let's switch you out. Maybe you can go lead the B team or something like that. Or maybe even really mature girlfriend would say, oh man, I'm sorry we were making you feel left out. I just really wanted to raid. You know what? You can have my spot. Or maybe the person feeling left out realizes, you know what? Their girlfriend and boyfriend, they probably want to spend time together. I'll go lead the B team or something like that. It all depends on the people involved. Come on, I'm pressing my button. And how they want to resolve it, or even if they want to resolve it. Sometimes when you're feeling that way, you're feeling left out, you're feeling like someone's gonna click, you don't want to try and fix things, you're just done. You're like, I don't want to be treated like this, I don't want to try and fix it, I'm done. And that's common too, which is, yeah, get out of here! Did we save everybody? Defeat resistant sharpshooters and rescue Talon Squad. There's a guy over here and he's still trapped, but I don't need to save him, so bye-bye. What other things do I hear? The other one I hear about, not necessarily drama, but the absolute opposite of that. I've heard a lot of people say, I joined a guild, maybe I left for a while, I came back and everybody was gone, or everybody's quiet, no one ever says anything. That is a dead guild. It happens fairly often, especially with smaller guilds like
when I get back to Sobrick, I'm jumping straight into a cockpit. The Resistance is going to pay.
Get right back into jumping into that cockpit, buddy. So when you have a guild that only has, say, maybe 12 people in it total, like not 12 characters, 12 people, and you've got only 2 people who are actually leading the guild.
That was a close call.
Sometimes those 2 people leading will peace out, and maybe they're bored of the game, maybe they finished whatever goals they wanted to do, maybe they got busy in real life. Then if there's no one picking that up afterwards, or there's no like designated way to pass down leadership, the guild just dies. It's super common, especially if you like join a guild that someone just randomly invites you while you're on Tython or Korriban, and you're like, oh cool, someone invited me to a guild. Those are often the kind of people doing that. They're just like, oh, we're trying to make a guild, it's gonna be awesome. Like, if anyone ever asked me, should I make a guild? Like, 90% of the time, my answer is no. Just go join an established one. If you want to help build something specific, ask if it's something they want to grow. Like, if you want to lead a Jedi roleplay, go find a roleplay guild and ask them if they want some help with a Jedi division or something. Don't start from scratch. It's 90% of the time never worth it.
Nicely done. You rescued all of our pilots. I hope you made those coward snipers pay while you were at it.
I crushed my enemies underfoot.
Ha! Just what I like to hear. Thanks again for your assistance.
There's that 10% of the time, though, when it is. Usually, if you have an idea for a group of people or goal that you want to achieve as a group, and you can't find anything similar, that's usually when I say it might be a good idea to create a guild. But creating a guild is so much work. Okay, we're finally going to a new area. Awesome.
Route is confirmed.
Like, you have to, not only do you have to like plan all these cool events, like let's say it's a roleplay guild and you wanted to roleplay Balmorra and Colicoids. That's right. Balmorra and Colicoids is your true calling, and you have not been able to find a guild that suits your needs to roleplay as a Colicoid. Yeah, no one's interested in that. But maybe you figure somewhere out there's at least a few other players who want to. So you have to, number 1, start hosting these events. Because a guild just made up of like-minded players without any kind of schedule or anything going on, it's really hard to convince people to join. Like, come join me, we'll be Colicoids together. then Bob's gonna leave in a week if you don't actually have any Colicoid events. He wants to get his mandibles right into roleplay for sure. So you have to plan those events. Because you're the one planning them, you're probably, especially when your guild's small, you have to host them all, so you actually have to attend everyone, and you maybe can't enjoy them as much because you actually have to lead them. You have to be inviting everyone, you have to be handing out instructions, telling people where to meet, summoning everyone to Bugtown. This is where you start in the Republic side, and I don't like it. I always make fun of Balmorra on Republic side, but it was actually pretty good, Imperial side, huh? I really didn't mind it, especially because it was pretty. Bugtown. Bugtown represents the deadly, shattered remnants of Balmorran technological pride, ground zero for the planet's Colicoid infestation. Known originally as Lab 352, the genetic research facility came to be known as Bugtown when the Empire invaded. One of the Empire's many acts of sabotage involved releasing the results of Lab 352's biological experiments, the vicious, mutated Colicoids. The insects quickly overran the area, killing the facility's staff. Since the initial invasion, the Colicoids have gradually spread from the Bugtown ruins out across the planet. Why the Balmorrans were mutating Colicoids is unknown. Everyone behind the experiments seemingly died when the creatures were set free. Still, if any answers are to be found, they will be found in Bugtown's databanks. Hey, buddy.
Is there anything wrong?
You see, we're setting up a new base of operations where Outpost Freedom is now, but those Colicoids are proving a headache. Our orbital bombers have specialized toxic bombs to drive them off, but apparently they need infrared markers to aim at. I'm looking for someone to place those markers.
If this was so simple, you'd have placed those markers by now.
Well, there are a ton of Colicoid nests in that area, but nothing you can't handle. We need the markers placed in these locations. Once they're all in place, I can order the bombardment.
That doesn't seem overly complicated.
I'll contact you when I read the markers are in place. Watch yourself around the Colicoids.
I'm sorry these Bugtown episodes are so incredibly roleplay and story light. Creatures bred for war, at last, some worthy opponents. I don't think you're gonna get the challenge you want here, Kimval.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Pardon. Kanju's disease. I'll have my wind back in a minute.
What kind of disease does he got?
Oh, that's better. Dr. Rivas, Imperial Science Bureau. Welcome to Project Hexapod. Not much, is it?
Kanju's.
Just me and a couple of obsolete computers. Empire's throwing all its resources into the war. What little good it does. But maybe you can help me.
Maybe you can tell me what it is you need help with.
You're familiar with the weaponized Colicoids, right? You can't miss them. The results of some kind of sick, wonderful experiments. Got loose when the Empire bombed the place. I'm here to uncover and analyze every scrap, every detail of those perverse, amazing experiments. Where, why, who, how, what. And then put it to good use.
What do you mean by good use?
The Colicoid mutations are disgusting and remarkable, but they are only the barest hint of what we might accomplish. I've located ground zero of the Colicoid experiments, but between the mutated Colicoids and my bad lungs, I can't get in.
Okay, enough with the coughing.
I need you to take this data spike and upload every scrap of information on those experiments you can find. Not just the formula, everything.
If you're going to make me feel guilty, I'll do it.
Good to hear. Project Hexapod might not be a wash after all. Ground Zero isn't far from here. Big lab facility. Hard to miss. Good luck out there.
Sir, we just took 50% casualties. That's called a defeat. We're dead without reinforcements.
Where are you, Private? Does this look like Alderaan? On Balmorra, 50% is the price of admission. Everyone fights, Private Gambar. Either you go in shooting, or we freeze you in carbonite and use you as a shield.
That casualty rate seems high.
Well, I imagine you're new to our particular combat zone, so welcome. I'm Pylok. We've encountered an unidentified insectoid species.
They're 3 meters tall. Blasters don't kill them. They can chew through armor.
Private Gambar here is expressing the diminished morale that resulted from our failure to achieve the objective.
What's so necessary that it costs this many lives?
There are
Kembal
plans for a
disapproves.
bomb in that industrial complex. A city-busting neutron detonator. If the Resistance gets them, you can kiss Sobrik goodbye. Trouble is, some kind of alien bugs took up residence. They've got brains enough to fight, but not enough to talk. We'll be back in combat as soon as we get done with a little field surgery.
You keep your men alive, I'll get those plans.
I never turned down Teresian ale or free firepower. You've got yourself a deal. Now, I should warn you. The plans are separated out for the manufacture of individual parts, so it's not one straight run in there. Once you have all the plans, come back and tell us how you did it. I need the squad to hear that these bugs can die.
These bugs can die. Oh, this is fun. We're gonna go in the Republic base here. Well, I don't know if it's a Republic base right now. I am getting to do something very cool. I'm actually playing this a day earlier than I normally do. I normally play on Wednesdays because on Wednesday, I don't know how many of you have watched it, but I have really enjoyed the show on Netflix, Stranger Things. Kind of a, I don't even know how to describe it, kind of horror sci-fi-ish kind of show. I liked it a lot, and because I live in California, I have the opportunity of not living in Los Angeles, but being able to get there sometimes with a with a long drive. And there's an event going on there, and it's going to be the people who made the music for the TV show are hosting, I guess you could say, a concert for the music of Stranger Things. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm not a huge pop culture nerd, I guess you could say, but I really like that show so far, and it's neat being able to live near somewhere where you can actually go do stuff like that. Most of my life I lived kind of out in the boonies, in the middle of Canada, where the moose roam and the polar bears range. Oh, something I am looking forward to eventually for Javiik is to decorate his stronghold. I got to ask you guys a very fun question last Wonder Talk, and that's where we talk about my character's roleplay story, history, background, that kind of stuff, and it's separate from this main series here. Oh, where'd you come from, little buggy? And that was where Javiik saved his mom from Balmorra on the shipyards area we saw earlier. And he has to decide where he's going to try and bring her, because in the game I literally can't afford anything but Dromikos and Coruscant. So I let you guys decide which one he would bring her to. Where you thought he would bring her, where you thought it would be a good idea to bring her, stuff like that. So after this, I'm going to go check the polls and find out which one won. And one way or another, he's going to finally have himself a little stronghold of his own. Oh, I don't know how many of you know him, but SWTOR Central is a friend of mine. He makes YouTube videos. It's a really good spot to go check out for news and opinions and stuff like that. He's going to be doing me a special favor, and a special favor for you guys. For those of you who know him, it's going to be very silly, and I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you, whoever said in the comments, is SWTOR Central going to be coming to the celebration? Unfortunately, no. We live on different continents, which means our time zones don't line up at all. So when I'm having the party, it's like his sleepy time. So he's definitely not coming to the celebration event, but he is going to be doing something fun and silly for me. Man, I wish there was more SWTOR news. I'm running out of stuff to talk about. I'm sorry. Oh god, what is that? It is a twisted Colicoid hunter. Oh, it's so ugly. Do we need to go in there? Nope. Let's just sneaky peeky. Don't look at me! I mentioned earlier my guild. Ah! Camera malfunction. I don't want that big thing to see me. I don't want to fight it. I'm very slow at destroying things right now. I think I may be underpowered for this area. See, these guys are only level 22, but with the level sync, I don't think it matters too much. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. Stun this guy. Push these guys. Steal it from me. Oh no, no, no. I have a shield, I know. Oh, man. Why are these guys so tough? It's not a heroic area. I'm just getting my butt kicked. Oh gosh, we have to decide. I don't think I want to walk all the way back here, so we'll use one of our few medical probes. We're gonna have to toughen up, Kimball. Oh god, there's baby Colicoids everywhere. Hi, Kimball. I'm sure you guys like saw Kimball was engaged in the background. He was definitely not healing me as he should have been. Oh, we need our class buff? I don't even know where that is. Where'd they go? Come here, you. What am I working on for videos? I have been working on some fun stuff. The next one I'm hoping to put out, I don't know exactly when or where, is the Tips for New Players Part 2, because it's nice to see so many people saying that they're coming back to the game and they're glad to find something up to date to help kick things into gear for them. Because there's so freaking much in this game. There's so much to this game. There's so much. Like, every single menu is something new. There's different stuff while you level, different stuff when you're max level. How do you get all the expansions? What about crafting and reputation? It's impossible to, like, if you're exploring all the different parts of the game over the course of like 5 years, there's plenty of time to find everything. But if you just started the game and you're like trying to look at everything at once, it's insane. Like, I don't know how I would feel joining this game now, because there was tons of things that didn't exist when I first started playing the game. Legacies did not exist. Strongholds did not exist. PvP had like 3 or 4 maps. I don't remember how many there were, but it was enough that you could actually memorize the rules of the couple that were there. Oh, Big Mama's gonna hit me. Oh, this is not good. I think I might die in place again. Oh snap, I'm totally gonna die. Is Kimball set? No, Kimball just don't want to heal me. Send the big one. Yes, there we go. Go on, Kimball. This is not good. Do I have a med pack? I don't even know. There we go. I didn't do so much to it. Oh, she is so gonna kill me before I can kill her. And I moved and broke my channel. Yep. That's a Sith. I deserve to die. Like, how many of you guys have been playing since launch, or did most of you join more recently? I'm guessing probably most of you joined within the last 2 or 3 years, or even more recently. If you started playing anytime during this series, you've probably already like reached level 70 by now. I'm going very slowly, especially because I'm on a free-to-play account. Oh, we've got Crushing Darkness. I honestly have no idea if that's good for Lightning Spec. I would guess probably not. Promise, level 50. We're doing a rotation and priority queue episode. Just doing that, standing in front of a training dummy. It's gonna be awesome. Ah, I knew I didn't want to fight this big one. I can't even put Kimball on DPS or he's just gonna... I'm just gonna die. Oh my gosh. You better not respawn. I'm gonna throw a hissy fit. Oh, bugs. I like how Kemval stuns somebody and I immediately attack them. Here's a pro tip. If you're doing a flashpoint or maybe even PvP, I don't know how often people use that move in PvP, but if you see a creature dangling in the air that you do not place in the air, leave it alone. Don't attack it. That usually means your teammate stunned it and is hoping to keep it stunned at least for a while. Just go attack the other guy for a bit. Don't do this. Don't drop a big AoE onto it. If you guys ever have any topics you want me to ramble about, because I don't keep an agenda, I just kind of think about what I want to talk about while I'm playing. Let me know in the comments and I'll add it to my list of Swtorista's random thoughts for the day. Oh, okay. Speaking of random thoughts, this came up on the last WONDERTALK episode when we were talking about Javiik's mom was a slave, blah blah blah. Something very cool. My brother-in-law kind of listens sometimes when I'm recording the roleplay half of things, and he remembered reading the Revan novel. It's a Star Wars The Old Republic novel written by Drew, I'm going to butcher his last name, I apologize. Karpyshyn? Yes. And he wrote this book about Revan, and it takes place after the old Knights of the Old Republic game, and I believe before this one. And my brother-in-law remembered that they actually do talk a little bit about slaves in the Empire, and at least at the time of that book, which I believe is like somewhere between 250 and 300 years before this, the Empire did not free slaves for pretty much any reason. Like, it was considered to free a slave was considered a capital offense. Oh, I see, you don't do that. You saw that guy flying over there. Kemval, I'm your worst teammate ever. I get kicked out of the flashpoint team right here if I do that anymore. Luckily Kemval is my minion. And I don't remember the exact quote, but freeing a slave was a capital offense. Like, it was a big deal. You do not free a slave under any circumstance. Later in the book, I think it mentions somewhere about slaves who are strong being able to earn themselves a better place in the Empire, but you couldn't just let one go for funsies or because you like them or whatever. They were meant to be a slave, and not only be a slave for the rest of their life at the time, but also to pass that down to any children they had. Their entire ancestors would be slaves forever. So we couldn't quite figure out where that would stand in the the Old Republic era, the era that we're in now, because it is quite a bit later. And there's also been a more of acceptance during this time of not necessarily like less slaves, but there's been a lot more acceptance of the other inferior species apart from like Sith humans and sometimes Chiss. And so we're kind of wondering if there's such a capital punishment for it, or if it's a bit disregarded, because there is a lot of turmoil going on right now. There is all the business with Darth Malgus. For those of you who are familiar, I won't talk too much about it because we're gonna see it at the end of our free-to-play journey eventually. And there's all the dissension amongst the Dark Council. I mean, heck, we're causing some of the dissension. We're murdering council members. Oh, not council members. Scotia was not one, if I remember right. But we are causing. We're little disturbers. We disturbed a piece of the Empire for Scotia's, for our master's whims. Oh my gosh. These bonus series are not particularly fun, and now I know why they were hidden in the first place. Okay. Big Mama right there is dead. Probably a bigger Mama somewhere deeper in here. I don't want to fight the Colicoids. Stay away from me. Don't look at me. I'm not one of you, no matter what the text said. See, can I hide behind here and press it? Kemval's just standing right in it. Oh, wow.
The upload has stopped, but the algorithm was flawless. Someone must be interfering with the upload manually.
When I find out who, they'll die.
The interference is coming from within the lab. Keep on your guard. Anyone with the ability to get into that lab is very dangerous.
That's it? That's all? Oh, we got more to do. Search the lab for the intruder. It's the traitor! It's... No, spoilers! Were you guys surprised about who the traitor was? Don't post who it was, though. We don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played Balmorra yet. Die! I'm very curious about the new group finder. Very, very curious, because we know they're updating it tomorrow, same day server merges are happening, but we don't know. I'm saying tomorrow, and you guys will. This episode will be out probably while the servers are down for maintenance. Why am I dying? Kembal, kill me. That's your one job. And they've mentioned there's improvements to it, and they're adding a couple more things to it. I believe they mentioned they might be adding heroics to it, which is kind of cool. But I'm very curious about what exactly they did to the group finder that actually warrants calling it a change. Like, sometimes they'll make updates to it, like they'll change some fly text or add different flashpoints that weren't there before, but they I hear you, you're saying you're dying, speak English. And you don't have to speak English, Kembal. I'm sorry, I was making fun of you. You can speak English, French, and I could probably get by if you spoke Spanish. But Ancient Sith, not my lingo. I am very curious what else they could have improved apart from like adding heroics. Maybe adding, I would love for them to add that macro binocular and seeker droid quests, especially the ones that require multiple people and friends who've already done it can't even help you. That sucks. I was so sad the couple times I tried to help people with those quests. Those are endgame quests for those of you who are still leveling. Here comes the train. I hate that quest the most. I'm trying to think of what else they could do. Like, they could make it so Imperial and Republic players could go into operations together. That would be kind of cool. That would be very nice. My guild would love that for sure. Though I don't know how that would change the dynamic, because we have Imperial operation nights. I don't know what would happen if we could suddenly queue together. I highly doubt that's the option. How about your ears? She's a loud one. Oh, the train didn't honk its horns. How polite. The coolest one. Speak to Sesic. Sesic the Colicoid? Hello.
Imache.
Oh my god.
Churon chica chiliska chanaga.
I didn't know Colicoids
I
could
should have read
talk.
that, sorry.
Who are you?
Of course we talk. We think. We invent. We talk. You are from the Empire. Must be. Few Republic left. Balmorrans not interested in experiments anymore. We are Sesic of the Creation Nest. We provided the Colicoid DNA for these experiments. They are cousins. More Colicoid and less Colicoid than we.
I can't believe the Colicoids willingly contributed to these experiments.
Of course, self-improvement. Build a better Colicoid. Very successful so far, but so much potential left. Take data. We offer an arm and friendship to the Empire. Experiments must continue. We cannot wait to meet with your scientists. Well, that was a twist. Apparently the Colicoids are sentient. What? I don't understand why the quest just ended that way. Colicoids can talk, Colicoids can think, and Colicoids want to be experimented on. And that's it? That's the end of the quest? Really? I was trying to remember if there was a Colicoid mount so I could have my very own Colicoid, and the answer is no. The closest thing is an Ackley mount, but it is not the same. That is weird. That was a weird quest. That was about as weird as when we were on Korriban and one of the codexes started talking about flying creature poop. That was a thing. Do you guys remember that way back in the beginning? That was weird. This was weird. Colicoids are weird. I'm not sure how much. I feel like I have a ton of bonus series quests here. Yeah, we got a lot to do. You know what? Let's do some climbing. Let's call it a day, and then next time we play, we're gonna be after server merges. So let's take a look at our population. I am playing quite late at night because of my work schedule. So we are on the Ebonhawk server that will become the Starforge server. It is 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, so New York time. And there is currently 49 people on Balmorra. And you know what? Let's go check the fleet and see how many people are on at this time at night, and then we can check it again next time we play. There. 49 on Balmorra, and we're gonna see exactly how many are gonna be. I don't know why. I'm kind of surprised how many people are on Balmorra actually. That's about 50 people running around Bugtam doing who knows what. Maybe Lords of Sokon is doing another roleplay event there. And so those of you especially who are on quiet servers and don't necessarily want to be, I am so excited for you come server merge day. For those of you who mostly play solo, I hope the changes don't affect you too much. I know some of you have expressed a lot of worry about number one, lag, and of just from having more people around. And number two, of when you're doing things like heroics or other quests, you don't want to have to fight people for the various resource nodes. The lag it's gonna happen. I'm sorry. The good news is it will contribute to the growth of the game, I'm hoping. So even though you'll have some sucky things happening, potentially you'll get more credit spam. Okay, how many people are here? Oh wow, there's 146 people here? Is there only one instance? I forgot how to check that. And there's even 2 instances. Oh. I don't even know how many people are in the second one. So there's over 150 people currently, and there's 2 instances and the second one has anywhere from between 1 and like 150 people. I have no idea. Oh yeah. And people like this who enjoy role-playing, they're gonna have to decide after server merges whether they're still comfortable doing this or not. I'm gonna go with I think they'll be fine. These guys look like they can handle it. Kimval does not look like he can handle it. So yeah, I wish you guys luck with server merges, and I don't know if when you're watching this if the servers will even be up. If you're just chilling out here waiting for the servers to come back up, have fun when they do, and if they're already up, have fun playing and let me know how the server merges went, because I'm going to go see Stranger Things music. Bye guys, see you later.